Bobby Jones?
Yeah.
So, well, welcome to the community discussions right after Mr. So. We have.
I got to exit. I got to exit over.
Okay.
I guess. How do you do that?
We have Andy Allen Jackson here, who is a creator, producer of In Need of a Leader.
Yeah.
TLE Radio?
TLE.
Yes.
She told me what TLE was all about.
And we have Eddie McAllister.
Yeah.
Who is a community, the beloved community facilitator.
Right. I still got an echo.
Yeah. We have Rob Cannon and Julie. So, well, I guess my first question will go to Andy Allen.
Okay.
I don't think we'll be having Bobby here. I thought he'll be here, but he is not. It's quite long, so I'm gonna put it on the chat so you can see it, and I will also read it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Bobby says I hear.
Oh, okay. Hi, Bobby. We also have Bobby Jones, who is the executive director of the African American Family Center. So I'm sending the first question, and that would be, hi, Bobby.
That's a long question.
It is a long question. So that's why I'm putting it there. It would make it easy. So, but what we would see is that usually people see that representations in film, television, and other media, usually it doesn't address like the needs for identity affirmation. It doesn't neither provides a vision and opportunity for upward mobility for BIPOC women and LGBTQIA plus persons. What does Mr. Soul film tells about the state of Black representation and authorship film in the television? I would give that to Andy Allen.
What does Mr. Soul about the state?
Yeah.
The authorship. It's back to what I at like communication. So basically, there's different programs you go. Arts. What we learn to it is that the media uses certain pictures and language for other people, our community. Like you said, like the only time you really see Black any crime or that, them when they're writing books, or they have my dogs. When I have,
we like dogs.
When you're writing art, again, tell. And so that basically saying like the white folks in us or show how we are. So it's our place to basically in our and literally introduced with one of the men, like how Harvey told us to do it. Just go ahead and do it. So about that question.
Okay. So how about you, Bobby Jones? Why is it important for Black people or all people of color to tell their own stories?
Wow, just me, I just want to thank Julie and everybody for inviting me educate myself even more on Black history. And so it's important just so we can understand who we are as Black people, African Americans, however we want to label ourselves. But the biggest thing that stuck out with me in that film, and I watched it twice now, is I want to say the gentleman at the end, I think it's Questlove, and what really resonated with me is he talked about just see if that show would have ran for 20 years. And so in being in the mental health field, it helps us understand, and not only us, but it help others understand who we are. And so just like Brother Ellis talked about in the beginning, it's not about entertainment, it's not about education, it's about just putting African-American face on the TV screen. And it makes me think about the things that we're doing at the center, and we're at a different time and a different place in life. And so we look at social media. And so with the radio station that we have, and we've been using our social media platform, and it's funny because we've been doing a show called Soul Sessions. And it's us where we're just talking about things that we're faced as African Americans here in Butte County where I live. And so this movie has just educated me and inspired me in a way that, you know what, it might not be the same as what Brother Ellis was doing, but you know what, the idea is still the same, especially in rural areas that don't see too many African American people. Yeah. This kind of platform, social media, television, give even people in rural areas a better understanding of who we are as Black and African American individuals. And it goes on one thing, and Brother Eddie, I just want to throw out something that you sent me in an email after you witnessed a meeting going on with the school system. Yeah. I'm not blaming anyone, but at the end of the day, our kids, our African American kids, part of the reason, there's multiple reasons why our kids are is because when they're on these campuses, they have no one to relate to, no one that looks like them. Yeah. And so it's the same thing within this whole media. And so that's what stuck out with me. If this would have went on for 20 years, just think of the different perception that not only African Americans we would have of ourselves, but others, the different perspective. Because like Sister was saying, the media has displayed such a negative image on the African American culture that is just like, how do we get a chance to even be ourselves? Because a lot of folks just, because media, we do is kill and shoot, drug, but that's not the truth of who we are. So like I said, I just thank you because knowledge is so powerful that, I'm so much into learning, but I just learned another thing. Wait a minute, what about just getting others to see who we are as individuals? So thank you for allowing me to share.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay, Eddie, you were talking about this was part of you remember that, you lived that, and you've been really active in the community here in making a change. What would you say, looking at, what the movie is talking about and where we are right now? Would you say there is a little change, no change, nothing at all? What would you say?
I definitely would go for little change. I mean, here we are in 2021, and we're still fighting for what Dr. King talked about back in 1963. Dr. King, he was a magic of the media. He knew how to use the media. There's got to be change when someone that is telling you a story or showing you something. Nowadays, kids have so much media to access and storytelling, but it's kind of like if someone has got to look like you to talk to you or make you understand different ways of telling stories. Now, this Mr. Soul, he represented such a diversity of. It wasn't only singers. I remember he had on not Elijah Muhammad, but the other one on his show, Farrakhan, right? Did he have Farrakhan? And he had the poets on there, Nikki Giovanni.
Mhm.
But you know what? One thing that for him to be called Mr. Soul, but one thing that I noticed that he did not have James Brown on him. He is the godfather of soul. Where was James Brown? Probably on the road. Anyway.
Okay, thank you, Eddie. I'm gonna go back to, I like your name, but I have such hard time pronouncing it. Andy Allen, am I saying it right?
It's India.
Andy,
So it's like Gillen.
Andy Allen.
Or you, it's just way easier.
Okay. You're doing the TLE radio. We're talking about Nikki Giovanni says that, what do you think about when he says that if it had been spoken word, I would have won a Grammy? That's when he was talking about that, it's kind of like different. What would you say is the difference between poetry, spoken words? You know, some people don't know the difference that much. I don't know. Would you say which one takes over? Are they all like sending the same message? Is one that is more African American?
I feel like reason why he says word probably been more is because it sends a message.
Mm-hmm.
It's back to where his friend was about not going to fight for. It's like I'm not out like the political, the streets of politics, and right because there's like you know politics that are protests,
Yeah.
especially when not. So understanding of a message, I feel like they can't see the face. Really put a face to it. But change the name, a lot of stuff. It into so he was going out using this a way to it's those who are wanting to see us live, just live. I think it's simply amazing. I think it's beautiful. So I definitely do agree with him. I believe like if it was in spoken word, it's basically a form of way to like shut us down, to cut us out, to basically hush us. But he did it in a way like media is a camera. You could do a lot with camera. And he did it with, for me, what we call it is improv. He literally did that improv, and he did that from like beginning to end. He said the only people that knew what was going on was him and the people that were working for him. And so I commemorate him a lot.
Yeah, I like that. Talking about the importance of media, you would have some people saying that Black people need to create their own media. We have BET, we have Oprah, but we can also recognize that sometimes the being part of the mainstream can make a difference. We do have like the inauguration poet. She's been doing poetry for a long time. I'm talking about Amanda Gorman, and she's been giving that opportunity to be right there, and that has changed a lot. I know that my 11-year-old daughter, my kids, and other parents also are talking about their kids, like Googling and finding some of her poetry to kind of like go back. Would you say that that might be something that's gonna kick off a movement, or what would you say? Either of you, like Bobby, any of you can take that question.
But it just goes back to the whole thing of if this show would have aired for 20 years.
Mhm.
And so just like with the vice president, the news vice president, now young ladies are seeing that. So
Yeah.
when that young lady read
Yeah.
those poems, now
Yeah.
there's other young women that are being inspired. And to me, hopefully it will be saw outside of the Black race, but it's seen within the Black race first, with those little Black girls being able to see, you know what, I could be the president, not just the vice
Yeah.
president, but the
Yeah.
president. I too could, you know, who like to journal, who are being encouraged to journal. I too one day could read my poem.
Yeah.
So it
Oh, yeah.
we got to see it. But if it's not being encouraged in the home, and once again, you can't blame what someone has not been taught. So if you are a parent and you were never encouraged, and I'm speaking this mental health stuff right now, and if you were never encouraged, how do you know how to encourage your kid?
That's right.
You see what I mean? So if it's
Yeah.
not happening in the home,
Just
now
like-
when you get to see it on national TV,
Mhm.
because that might be the only place where you've seen a young Black woman reading a poem.
Yeah.
You see, so this is why I'm telling you this. I can't thank you guys so much, because I think I'm a person that likes to think outside the box, because in this day and age, you have to. And so this just helped me be more creative and make me think we're not doing enough, because we got the cameras, we got the radio station, you know, we got it's just, are we being aggressive enough in what we're trying to do? And all I'm just trying to do is to get people to see us in a different way. We're mattering, you know, to where just see me as you see your sister or your brother is what I'm looking at. And so how do we do that? And we just got to show that in multiple ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a lot of work to do, but you know, just seeing others in places. And that's why it goes back to, you know, schools. Are the schools meeting the criteria of making sure that they could have every student identify with someone? And it got to be more than just male, female. It got to somebody who looked like me, to where I might have a sense of, you know what, this individual might understand me just a little bit.
Wow.
Might not understand my true story, but you might understand me a little bit, because we have gone through some similar things that no one, I'm saying this, and this is my personal opinion, no one will really truly understand it unless you look like this. I don't care what I've learned it. I'm 54 years old.
Ooh.
And I done did my math. So I didn't really understand Brother Ellis, because I was 5 years old by the time it shut down in 73. But it was a beauty to see those young artists that I watched grow up.
Yeah.
And so it's different now. And then I look in a rural area. I'm from Chicago, where, you know, I seen a lot of me growing up. But I looked in these rural areas, because I've been living in them in the last 10, 20 years. And we don't see the same thing coming out our door every day. And so, and from a mental health perspective, that affects us. We might don't see it right there, but eventually it affects us. We get the question who we are sometimes. So
definitely can see that. I do have two questions. I have one for Bobby that's in the chat. It's they say called Robert 50. Okay, that's I think that's the person who's asking the question. If the show was still running today, what do you think the narrative will shift to, if there were to be a shift at all?
And that is, I like that. But I just think, just like I've been speaking to, more people even African Americans ourselves would have been seeing a more positive self-assurance, self-reassurance of who we are as individuals. You know, I love it when it started off in the beginning that there was, prior to these shows, and Brother Eddie, you added to, there was a show prior to him, but I don't know how nationally it went as far as Soul, but they were saying there was no other Black television show like the show Soul.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. It's just, you only just see, because there's only so much that's going on in the home. I want everybody, we all need to just understand that. And so, especially now, the way you look at social media and the things that our kids are exposed to, you know, it's just too easy to go on and watch a video on something that's not doing something positive versus
YouTube.
how that show was. It was uplifting for me as Black folks, and I love the letters that they said that they was getting. Hey, I'm not white, but I love this. I mean, it is because it was about love.
Yeah,
that was the one thing that I heard them talk about a lot, and that's part of what we have thrown off the table of our equation of wellness. Love. And what love means to where I accept you for who you are.
Yeah.
Regardless of your shortcomings or your gaining. I'm going to love you as an individual.
Agape love.
So, yeah, that would be my thing. That's what I would have just seen. And so even in little rural areas, because I done had the experience of living in both, even in these little rural areas, people who would have been watching these shows, you know, just like, you know, we watch the cop shows or whatever, you would have still had this opportunity to watch this show that was displaying positive stuff that I won't say positive because some people, it was us as African Americans. I'll put it to you, because some people might say stuff was negative, but it was displaying us as African Americans to get people to get a better understanding of who we are. And to me, when we get a better understanding of who one another, we don't assume. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bobby. Next question is for India. Okay, I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the role of media in addressing racial inequality. What has the growth of social media helped? Or has the growth of social media helped? Where are the modern day version of Soul?
Let me see. I definitely do believe that the role of social media has definitely, like, because she asked the role of media. No, I'm gonna say the role of social media.
Yeah.
Because job. I don't know if you all have Instagrams or just Facebooks, but it was mostly on Instagram when the whole George Floyd incident had happened. And literally, because of so many people on social media being like, on this day, we're going to post a Black picture, blacking out all social media in support of this, showing like where that was a form of protest. And I'm sorry, I'm a millennial. I love going on Instagram, I love going on Snapchat. It was nothing to do that day. It was nothing. And so the power of that, like seeing how social media just really takes an impact on people. And then the simple fact of is Twitter. Like, you know, when there's incidents at like the incident at the Capitol, when they were like, we need help finding these people, Twitter went out and like disclosed addresses, names, families, street addresses. It was crazy. So definitely the power of media addressing racial inequality is definitely big. And I definitely do believe with the George Floyd incident, it made it even bigger. Like it wasn't just, you know, us in California and then Michigan. It was everybody from here to even people in third world countries to those across the world protesting for just being like, yo, this is not right. And so going into, has it helped? Yes, it definitely has. And where are the modern day versions of Soul found? I honestly, I feel like you have to genuinely search. For me personally, I'm trying to be the modern day version of Soul. And going back to what Bobby had said, like, I genuinely wish like I knew more about Mr. Soul. Like I really do. I really wish I knew more about us. I really wish I knew more about it because I was watching it with my friends. And we're just like, wow, amazing. And I'm just like, y'all, that is me. That's what I'm trying to do. Like, I literally want to showcase like who we are and the contributions that we've done to this economy and to this world. Like, I want to be the person I want to be like him. And it's so sad to like, I'm sitting here now just reflecting, like, my original idol was Ellen. But like Bobby said, where was the representation during that time? Who were we going to see? And to now, I don't know why in the last 2 years, our history has been just like on a splurge of coming out, but seeing all these historical figures and seeing a person just like him in the field, it just like, it made me open my mind. Like it made me like start thinking like, I want to open a talk show station again, and a radio station and a media mentoring station. Like, I don't care. I want to open it all, because there's people of color who have these abilities, who have these skills, who have these talents, who are able to showcase them, but yet we're being pushed down because of the world we live in, and it sucks to not see no representation. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be what he was back in the day. And the glory of social media is that we're so diverse in it. They don't care. They're like, if we're on a, if you're trending, if you're actually talking some real stuff, I'm going to listen. And that's what I'm trying to do with my radio show, NEWTLE. So that's it.
Thank you. Eddie, do you have something to add?
Yeah, I was thinking about, about the question if that was in the chat. Let's see, where was it? Would or do you think that, I guess this came from Rob, or do you think people would try to get it canceled? I think we're strong enough right now. Like he mentioned, we got BET, we got Oprah. I think people could try to get it canceled, but there's so many things that are available now for people to watch, especially like India was saying about social media and Snapchat and Instagram. It's like there's so many people that have podcasts that are going around right now, podcasts and that type of stuff. So I think that trying something or getting support for someone who wants to do more like this, I don't think it would be canceled.
Could I add something to that, please?
Yes.
Also, so Eddie, thank you for reminding me of those different outlets. And I watched BET, but you helped remind me that there are people out here doing the work, but from a local level. And I don't know, Reading is too far for some folks to come to Oroville, but with technology, there's ways to pre-record shows. I just like doing shows live. And so to speak to where are there people, doing things like that, and our kid folks, I did not know anything about Ellis prior to this whole project, but I know we were doing our soul sessions, which our last soul session was about the Black family, and we invited guests on there, and we always have been looking for entertainment, because we always said to where we want to have some courageous conversations, but we also want to be uplifting as well with some kind of entertainment. So to answer that question, to where it's just when people hear about things, it's just people just got to support it at the end of the day, because there is work out there being done. And I just want to let people know there's opportunity for radio programs through our radio station, just as well as people being involved on our soul sessions, which we broadcast on Facebook. But I think we're having some problems to where we're going to YouTube and we're sending the link for people to watch it through our YouTube channel.
Okay.
But Sister Jackson here, we need to definitely get in touch. For sure. So but there's work being done. And with things like this is how work continue to be done and enhanced upon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess, at the end of the film, during the last episode, it says Ellis says, although it's over, it's not the end. Black seeds keep on growing.
Yes.
So I guess that's kind of like what Bobby was saying. Who would you say in your community is like, would be the next Ellis?
Hmm.
You know, and that's what
Eddie.
I feel that we're
Eddie.
working on.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eddie. Go ahead.
I was just thinking. I wasn't saying anything. Go ahead, Bobby. Who would it be? Miriam.
Well, you know what? I would say all of us.
All of us.
So if I would say all of us, we have everything right now that we need. We're talking about social media. We have Facebook Watch. We all of us can take that and run with. All of us can be part of it.
Yeah, we have excellent support.
You can have a show one day.
KIXE.
Yeah.
You know, Rob and Julie.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have community access, Old City Hall, Tall Mike Flanagan.
Yeah.
That would help us out. You know?
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna ask Andy to talk a little bit about her radio. Can you tell us what you do more? You added it in your answers, but it would be nice for us to know what you're doing. I think you're already doing things that's related to this.
So definitely Anita Below TLE Radio. It's just not only a space where you can come and listen to good music. It's basically just, it's an outlet to like real talks for people, real experiences. Like I have a segment called Intellect Visions. And if anyone is seeing how my name is spelled, it's spelled with an E. Shout out to my mom and my grandma. I love them dearly. They wanted to make my name complicated for some strange reason, but you know about me, like every time I say my name, people are like, huh? I'd be like, India. They'd be like, really? I'd be like, yes. It's a lot. It's a lot. So definitely there's like this, I only have one poster in my room. You see, I have a lot of other stuff in my room, but I have this one poster and it says, I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. And my goal with this radio show is to be the face. I go to Chico State. I'm a 5th year right now. Not only am I at Chico State, I'm also a prepared professional at Cross Cultural Leadership Center. I'm also a DJ for my radio show. I'm also Wednesdays and Bible studies on Wednesdays. I do a lot. And like Bobby said, to see someone like me, it was rare. And so I want to be the person that people look up to, like people recognize me, like, damn, she did it. Like she's about to start her graduate studies in fall, and she has a radio show, and she's working. So my thing is like, I want to show like, yes, I'm African American. I'm an African American woman. I'm also an African American woman student at a PWI, but I'm doing the damn thing. I'm trying. I have a dream. I have a voice. I have ambitions. I have goals, and that's purpose. And not even just that. I have 5 siblings. I have cousins. I have I have a whole lot who are watching me like and being like, India, you got this. So for me, you know, my radio show is a place to not only like, I would say not only bring myself love and confidence, but it was a purpose to be like, you know what? There's another student, like Bobby said, there's someone else locally doing the same thing as me that based on my mind, if I help you, you can help me. Let me get your stuff out there and I can get your stuff out there. But my goal at the end of the day is to have a radio station. I want to be the P. Diddy of radio. Like, I really, truthfully do. Like, I want to be like, okay, so I see my sports center going good, bet. I see my great. Downstairs, we got a mentoring program, bet. All right, I'll be back because I gotta go to the production show, go do my go do it live. I'll be right. Like, I want to do it like that. But to show other students of color, especially in the African American community, those who identify as Black, that y'all could do it. You have dreams, you have goals, and that's the purpose of why all of these people like Ellis, he literally did this for us. Like I feel like he was like, here's the stepping stone. All right, we got some more people who put the stepping stone, and now we're here. So Anita Velotelli Radio is just
Started
basically,
from the bottom, now we're here.
yeah. So that's what my radio shows is to just to
Yeah.
show people like we could do it. We can. And not even just that, we have allies. They want to help. They genuinely want to see it. Like, I know people are like, but I'm like, y'all, I feel like you could genuinely tell when someone's supporting you and genuinely loving you. And if it's from people that, people that don't take it, because at this point we are in 2021, excuse me, let me go forward. We're in 2021 and we are coming to this diverse world. It's like, we got to grow. And that's my goal. But my main mission right now is to get us recognized, because clearly white America just doesn't like us. So I'm going to do it. I am. And I put that word to that. And I believe in my higher power.
Amen. Hey, India, put your, how do we access your radio show?
Yes.
How do we do
So,
that?
I am a little new techie. I'm so sorry. But for those on Instagram who have Instagram, you can follow me at Talking Live WND, and I'll put that in the chat as well, and also on the
Okay.
other. And then I do have an actual link where you could listen to me live. I'm sorry, y'all. I was born in 1998. I am the youngest here. I like 2000 radio. I loved it. So I'm live. So that's where I'm at. So if you want to listen to live, I do radio dramas. I do movie reviews. I do quote and word of the days. Since it's Black History Month, the celebration of that, I do Black History Fact. We just talked about Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman today. It's kind of cool. I be cracking up myself. I was a theater major at first, but forget it. So you'll get to experience me, but I will put the link in the chat and wait for you to watch it. But again, I just want to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity. This is amazing. Oh, Julie, you are my girl. Let me tell you, she put it in the chat. So there.
That's actually something different. That's an event that's happening Sunday for Black History Month, where you can come and just talk about your favorite person, someone that inspired you.
Okay. 28.
Yes, that's next Sunday at 4 p.m. It's not formal, it's informal. We just come together and we share. It's like a sharing day. So it's good. You guys, hopefully you guys will be there. This is really nice, talking about the importance of like being represented. You don't know how many Zoom meetings that I would go to. This is probably the first time where I'm looking and I'm like, oh, I'm not the only Black. Oh, there is another. And this is, so I'm telling you guys, it's so important to me, because so many times I would go, I would log on, I would look, and I would get a panic attack. My heart will literally start beating hard, and I'm looking, and I would just, close my cam, because I look at it and I'm so uncomfortable, or it's so I just don't see anyone that I feel I can connect with. There was a survey, I couldn't find it, about talking about students. How many of us had like Black instructors, teachers, and stuff? So that's really important. I know Bobby touched on that, and it's really important in the medias and our schools. It's like it is hard it's important for us and for our kids also to see.
And it's not the deal breaker, but you know what? It makes life just a little bit better. When you really just see a familiar face.
Yes.
And so it is what it is. I'm not going back say anything different, because it is what it is. I've been watching, I've been talking to a lot of kids over the last 10 years. And so that's one of the things that they a lot mention is, either I wish more Black kids was in my class, and I just, well, I can't help you there, because I ain't finna go have no more kids.
Yes.
So But that is just sad when that is an issue, when your focus should be to go get and become educated. You see what I mean? And when you have all these barriers, and some of us, you know, and this is across the board, you know, race has nothing to do with why some kids are not getting fed at home, why there's abuse in the home, and all these kind of things. So when you have all these barriers on top of a cultural barrier or issue that you got to be faced with, this is how it drains us mentally. So yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely add to that. If it wasn't for having a Black principal when I went to high school and having
Oh, man.
we was tight. We had a and not just on top of that, one of the teachers who I literally would say is my mom. I talk to her to this day. She is like my rock. Her name is Miss Allen. She was an African-American woman there who not only worked with student government, so, you know, ASB, but she also worked with the children who had IEPs, and so, you know, who had learning comprehensions and disabilities. And literally, she pushed me. It was to the point to where, like, she could call my mom and be like, India, and I'd be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But for her, now I always recognize, like, it was her love, it was her support, and like Bobby said, it was the fact that I seen another Black woman there that looked like me, and I seen a Black woman ahead, and not even just that, they were very great friends. She was also the godmother of one of her children, so I think it was crazy. It was just amazing to see, and I definitely am happy to have that. But what kind of shakes my mind is, you know, being in college, people ask me, like, how does it feel to be the only Black person in the classroom? And honest opinion, they be surprised by my reaction. I'd be like, wait, what? And they're like, wait, they're tripping off my reaction, because I'm like, with my high school, I'm sorry, and where I came from, Sacramento, I've always been to a school where I've seen white, Russian, Mexicans, Black. So for me, it was like weird, but getting into a space where you starting having to recognize it, because it's the reality, like, damn, we're only like 2.6% here at Chico State. Where are we? Where's the representation? There's barely any. And it's like, how do we make this difference? And it's just crazy. And I'm just thankful to have, like, the people who were in my life to be the representation, to pass it down to me, because now I want to pass it down on to others. So I definitely agree.
We have a few minutes left, so I'm gonna, if you guys have any last comments that you wanna make, I definitely will want to thank KIXE for having showing these movies and these discussions. I went to a couple of them and I was like, wow, this is happening here. I really wanna be part of it. And I don't think I've missed any of their screenings. I've been there because I'm learning a lot. It's what they're doing for this community, and they're educating people. We have more and more allies through the screening. So thank you, Julie and Rob. Thank you, KIXE.
Yeah, thank you.
Now I'm gonna let you guys finish with your last words, and then we'll...
You know, I have to say, I kind of grew up in the entertainment industry. I was a photographer down on Crenshaw Strip at the Total Experience. This was a nightclub. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of these acts that we saw tonight, I've seen them before. Let's see, when Ellis was doing his thing, I was in the Army, which was, I was in the Army from 66 to 69. So I'm a Soul Train guy. And like I said, you know, I appreciate Ellis, his diversity and bringing on the poets and everything. I think I remember Soul Train was just mostly acts, singing acts. And that was great. That lasted quite a while. But going from Ellis, oh yeah, I want to say, like I said, Johnny Otis. You guys have to Google Johnny Otis. He was in the 50s. Like I said, my wife, she just reminded me of Johnny Otis today.
Yeah.
he was in the 50s. So, and then Ellis, then Soul Train, and I think now Soul Train Entertainment, like I said, BET and the OWN network.
Yeah.
I've been watching The Underground and Queen Sugar. that's the kind of like way we're going, and then all these podcasts that people are having, like Indy, she's doing it. So we are moving forward.
Thank
That's
you,
it.
Eddie. Thank
Yeah.
you, Eddie.
Yeah.
Bobby, Andy, any last word?
I just wanted to share just from a resource perspective of how we should all be seeking access to different resources. So when we talk about the longevity of the Soul Show, how it would have been a resource, not only for African Americans, but for other people to be educated about us as African Americans. And so I also look at resources as having people in your life to just be able to tell you, you matter, I love you, and things like that. So when we look at resources, I just want people to look at that just could have been a good resources. Once again, not even just for African Americans. It would have been definitely good for us, but it would have been good for the education and entertainment for others as well. So thank you for having me.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I definitely want to thank you all for having me as well. I really appreciate it. Like when I got when I got this opportunity, I like called my mom. I was like, "Mom, listen!" Like I had like this little kid moment, and it was really big. And to meet other people who are trying to, do the same thing as I am. So I'm definitely gonna get in contact with you, Bobby. Definitely. I'm almost up out of Chico. I gotta graduate. I can't lie, it can't hold me down. But I will always be in contact with you all. I thank you. If you're ever wanting a radio show to wake you up in the morning, I am on from 8 morning to 7 p.m. So catch me on my link. Thank you all. And thank you, Miriam.
On your link.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll stay in touch. And that was it. It was really nice. I like the conversation. I like the movie. I'm gonna watch. It's gonna be shown on the 22nd. So I know I watched it. I watched it again, and I'm gonna watch it again. It's that good. So thank you all. And let's stay in touch.
All righty.